Hey, whippersnappers, this is Tortimer the Gray. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Pokemon Showdown Gray version. And there we go. They've actually got a button on here now. I think Nougat mentioned it to me this week during our battle that apparently there's a button now to switch sides because it used to just randomly assign. So you guys are watching from the opponent's perspective, which you guys are the opponents, so that works out. But this week we are doing a we rolled an evil team encounter, and so you guys were all grunts coming to take on Tortimer's team, and so that's what we've got here today. Neuron came at us with his he's got a theme that he goes with his evil teams. He's always got grass types. He's got a grass type evil team, which we haven't really seen in the games before, so that's pretty cool. Nothing to say is that grass types can't be evil like everybody else. So he comes at us with the grass type team. Fumesy throws up the flamethrower there, hitting the ice grass type, doing good damage, and then Fumesy's going to outspeed the Abomasnow and finish off the Mega there for us. So Neurion's down 2 Pokemon now, then Trevenant's going to come in. Going to throw up that Will-O-Wisp there just because I figure anybody will hate progressive damage. So that's what we've got going. And now we've got the Hail in effect, I think, that's hurting both of us. Did it? Yeah, buffeted by Hail. So Fumesy and Trevenant going up against each other here with one hit after the other. And we hit it with the Sludge Bomb there, which does less than I would expect. Especially being super effective. But, oh wait, no, it's not super effective. That's the problem. Because Ghost type actually resists Poison type, so it's not actually super effective, which is the issue. I should have been using Flamethrower there. Then Verizon comes in with the Close Combat, doesn't finish off Fumesy, gets the defensive issues there, and then we land the burn on that, which works out because Verizon appears to be a physical attacker, which I've never used one of these guys before, so it could have fooled me one way or the other, although it's a fighting type, so I guess it makes most sense, but anyway. So we land the Stab Slug Wave there. That time it is super effective. Takes Verizon down to within burn damage range. And then Boots comes back in with the Fake Out, finishes off the Legendary there. Then Grottle comes in. It's going to take the Fury Swipes here. I need to check Boots' ability because, as I said, I rebuilt these teams from Smogon sets because I lost all my teams. And I hadn't backed it up in a while. So I think I have the wrong ability on Boots. I think it has Technician as opposed to Skill Link, which is what really makes Fury Swipes go, because I think that makes it hit the full 5 times or something like that. I need to look into that. I need to, I guess, see which is better if Technician helps, because it boosts attacks under the base power of 60 or whatever, so I gotta figure out what to do there. But thank you, Grunt Neurion, for coming at us this week and bringing your evil grass team. I always love seeing the continuity carried through the game, so thank you so much for that, and let's see what the rest of you guys brought. There are a lot of you this week, so here we go. Alrighty, guys, here we go. Battle number 2. Oh, there we go. Battle number 2. I switched sides again, and it looks like it restarted from the last place. So here we go up against Grunt Mac, and Mac brings a very interesting evil team here. He's got a Seismitoad and a Dugtrio and all kinds of fun stuff here. So his Seismitoad is going to take the Leaf Storm from my Rotom Grass, and Rotom Grass is then going to switch out in the face of the Sneasel, going to bring Fumesy in, who's going to take that Icicle Crash, and he does that very well. Start of this turn, well, they're going to throw up the Icicle Crash because they're obviously much faster than Fumesy, and then we're going to throw up the Will-O-Wisp, which is going to land, which is awesome. Sneasels are tough to work with at full capacity, so the Will-O-Wisp definitely helpful there, and then the Flamethrower landing especially helpful. Fumesy comes out as the Psychic type comes in, Lol comes in. We get basically a free move as they set up with the Calm Mind, but the free move doesn't end up working out so well for us because then the Dazzling Gleam comes and finishes off Lol. But Boots comes in, and Boots can outspeed most things, and so able to land the knockoff, finishing off the Delphox there. I honestly don't know what that thing is. It's Fennekin, and then Delphox, and I forget what the final evolution is called. I could scroll up, but it's too late. So then Sigliff comes back in. Rotom gonna switch out. Depth Charge gonna come in to take whatever special attack is coming, which ends up being a Heat Wave, so that works out even better. Took way more damage from Rocks there, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. And speaking of Rocks, we throw up the Defog there to get rid of the Stealth Rocks, and throw up the Toxic here while they throw up the Will-O-Wisp. So both of us going for a little bit of progressive damage there. Air Slash going up, not doing a whole lot. They threw up the Taunt. which we've already done our Will-O-Wisp, so we're not really going to worry about that too much as it is. And as it's kind of chipping away at us, they forget about Water Absorb, and they throw up the Scald, which is actually going to heal us, which allows Depth Charge to stay in and continue to chip away at the Jellyfish a little bit longer. I think Toxic Damage might kill it this turn. Yes, Toxic Damage does take it out. So Mac is down to his last 2 Pokemon, throws up that Psyshock, which does pretty decent damage to Depth Charge, because I believe Psyshock goes off. It's a special attack, but it takes the defense stat of the target, is I think how that works out. And Depth Charge is obviously a special wall, so his defense stat is not going to be real great. Throw up the Toxic here. I'm not sure what I was thinking there exactly, just thinking, well, I'll do something with Depth Charge here before the end, and with this thing starting to set up, I figured it'd be good to have some sort of progressive building damage there. Deer comes in at this point with the Choice Scarf, Volt switches on out, does some good damage, brings Fumesy back in, who's going to take that Heat Wave and go down. And then Deer comes back in, we're going to throw up the Leaf Storm. I threw that up because we're Choice Scarfed, and I wanted to make sure that we would be able to take out the Doug Trio as well, which we then are able to do there with the second Leaf Storm. So, yeah. Anyway, thank you so much, Grunt Mac, for coming at us this week. Greatly appreciate your participation. But we do have a lot of people to get through, so we're going to jump right into the next one. Thanks again, Mac. Here we go. Alrighty, guys. Oh, let's switch again. Here we go. Alrighty, guys. Welcome back to another battle here. This is normally how I do this, right? With my Pokemon up in the... I don't know. Maybe that's not how I normally do it. I'm thinking now, well, maybe I actually usually do it the other way. But anyway, we go up against Grunt Nougat here, and Nougat comes at us with a couple of familiar faces as well. We've seen Charmu a number of times. Charmu is based off of one of his real-world, but his an actual Gibble Garchomp that he had in his cartridge. And so we see that a lot. And then I think... Pringles is back, which is one that gave us such trouble last week or the week before. Blackavar comes in and sets up the Hone Claws, throws up the Poison Jab, and we're able to finish off Pringles there, which is kind of exciting to see that thing not be a real trouble. But then Tyrantrum comes in and finishes off Blackavar in one hit. Really looking forward to the next tier so that Blackavar can evolve. This thing comes in, Typhlosion gets the Flash Fire up, so Depth Charge comes in. He can just laugh off most fire attacks, especially because he's a special wall. We throw up the Scald, which Cacturn actually has Water Absorb, which is a good strategy. We do the same thing with Depth Charge, and he was expecting it because he had his Fire type out, so that works. They go for the Sucker Punch. I throw up the Toxic there, expecting the Sucker Punch. And then I go for the Defog here, just kind of to wait out the Toxic damage. And it finishes off the Cactus here in that turn, so that ends up working out. He uses the Eruption, which is going to be enough to finish off Depth Charge as low as he was. And then Lol at that point is going to come in. We get a free turn to set up with the switch there, so that works out pretty nicely for us. And then Superpowered gets thrown up by Squidward, which does a lot of damage to Lol. But our high jump kick's going to land, do just over half, and then we're going to have to get out of there because I know he's not going to be able to take another one. Fumesy comes in at that point to take the superpower because that's what Fumesy's job is, to take superpowers. And we're going to throw up the Will-O-Wisp there. They switch into their Tyrantrum, which is as good a catch for us as anything with that. They throw up the Zen Headbutt. That must be their last guy who's really... Although, Squidward probably should have had Psycho Cut or something on it to be able to handle Fumesy as well. But the Dragon's going to come in and still, even with the burn, do pretty hard damage to Fumesy. I think he ends up surviving this here. But then we get the flinch. Right, we flinch there. And Fumesy is actually going to go down to the Dragon, although it's going to die to burn damage here. So Fumesy still technically did his job. At that point, Deer comes in, and with one Thunderbolt is able to finish off Squidward. Choice Scarf for the win. And then we're going to go ahead and take a hard Eruption from the Typhlosion. Lol comes in at that point and is going to take another Eruption, and we actually go down. We go down to Nougat again this week. And so, yeah, one of the guys that usually challenges me pretty hard, and he did so for sure this week. A cool little team you put together there, Nougat. Thank you so much for the battle, and let's check out what the rest of you guys had going on. Here we go. Alrighty, guys, here we go up against Grunt Codeman, and Codeman this week came at us with just a small little Grunt team, which is again, it's awesome. It's obviously not going to be very competitive on his end, but it adds some nice variety on my end, and so there we go. Well, for continuity's sake, let's switch around here. Boots is up in the top right corner now, and Codeman's Drapion's actually doing pretty good damage to Boots. Boots is having a hard time getting through the defenses there. There's an instance where Fury Swipes only did hit twice, whereas if we had Skill Link, I think it would hit the full 5 times, so that's a little rough. We do land the burn on Drapion, though, which is, they've got the Swords Dance going, so still not going to be super affected by it. Throwing up the Flamethrower just because I figured it'll be more effective than Sludge Bomb would be at that point. Throw up the Burn just because, you know, damage. And Electros is going to take that. Throw up the Thunderbolt, which is going to do pretty good damage against Fumsy. And then we switch out into Deer, who's going to more or less resist that just fine. And we're going to go ahead and use Trick, which I don't know exactly what I was thinking there, because the Flamethrower comes and gets us stuck there. So they're trapped into Flamethrower with the Choice Scarf now, but they go ahead and switch out. Depth Charge uses the Air Slash, which doesn't do a ton to Golbat, but Golbat's going to get the Poison, which is a little bit disappointing, and then Depth Charge is going to take some toxic damage, still not have it killed. Then Golbat uses the Roost, so this thing is going to take a while. We do land the Burn finally from the Skull, which is what we were kind of going for there. Getting that progressive damage up, and Depth Charge is just going to keep taking hits, throwing up Skulls. We do finish off the Golbat there. Going to take some toxic damage here. Then the Electros comes back in, with Depth Charge isn't going to be real great against anyway, so I'm going to leave him in, just let him go down. And then we're down to Lol, Blackavar, and Fumsy. Lol comes in with a knockoff, doing pretty good damage, saving us from an eternity of Choice Scarf from Electros there. And then the Lumberry is going to heal the paralysis that he got, and he's going to be able to, or she's going to be able to finish off the Electros there towards the end. So even with just 3 Pokemon, a pretty tough team there, Codeman. I appreciate Grunt Code coming at us, and yeah, thank you so much. And yeah, alrighty, let's check out the next battle, shall we? Here we go. Alright guys, here we are. We are going up against the Admiral Emulat, and they have a APOM of their own, but Boots, as Boots does, outspeeds, wins the speed tie, whatever it is that's going on there. Well, I think it's winning the speed tie because they got to go first on that next turn. Boots, I made the misplay of going for the Brick Break there. Really, I should have just knocked off, because anybody else on the team would have hated a knockoff more than a Brick Break, so that was a misplay on my behalf. Boots ends up getting burned here, and then is going to take some hard damage from the Cofagrigus, and going to go down. At which point Lol comes in, just throwing up all the tricks here. We go right for the knockoff as opposed to the Dragon Dance, because I just want that thing dead. And so we go ahead and do that. Lol's going to get mummified there, which is going to lower Moxie's effectiveness, obviously, and Fumsy's going to come in to take the fake out there from the Apom, or Ambipom. Fumsy's going to throw up the Will-O-Wisp there, which is going to land on the Accelagor, and it's going to go down there to a Flamethrower. So that works out pretty well for us. Boots comes back in, able to take out Fumsy with the fake out at this point, at which point Lol comes in. Lol's going to take a hard acrobatics from the not the Boots, but the Ambipom, and then it's going to go down to a knockoff. This point, the Moxie is kicking in, so that works out nicely, and one knockoff is going to be, with the attack boost, is going to be enough to finish off the Bronzong, and we are going to win the battle against I forget what this guy's name is, the guy from Gen 5, but we'll yeah, Admiral Emulat. Thank you so much for the battle this week. Thank you for your continued support. I think you were on last week as well, so I appreciate all of you guys coming back. And let's check out what the rest of you guys have. I think we got 3 more battles today, so let's get to it. Here we go. Oh, wait, no, it was right. Here we go. All right, guys, welcome back to the battles, and we are going up against Scad here. And Scad leads off with their Mega Bayonet, and I lead off with Boots because that's what I do. And Boots is able to do pretty good damage to Chucky there in the first attack round. And in the second attack round, we're able to take Chucky down, so that works out pretty nicely. The Mega is out, although so is Boots. Which is a tough loss for sure. Depth Charge comes in, throws up the Toxic there, and gonna go ahead and start chipping away at the Trevenant here. Trevenant's got the Substitute there and the Citrus Berry Harvest combo, and so we are gonna have a little bit of trouble with the Toxic up and the Air Slush being able to break the sub. I don't think it's nothing we cannot get over here. So Going to throw up the air slash there, but unfortunately it's going to miss. Thankfully the leech seed misses as well, so we both kind of have a null round there, except for toxic damage is starting to rack up. I bring in Blackavar at this point. The leech seed is going to land there. The toxic damage is going to do a lot to the Trevenant though, and we're going to throw up the Hone Claws there in order to just be set up to do stuff here, but the Trevenant's going to go down to toxic damage this turn. Even with the help of the leech seed, it's just gonna happen. We throw up the poison jab, and this is where I'm like, oh wow, I honestly didn't know that pure ghost resisted poison. I guess all the ghost types from Gen 1 were ghost poison, so I just assumed that was that hadn't clicked before. But there we go. You learn something new every day, even in a game you've been playing for 16 years or something. So. Cofagrigus is going to be able to take down Blackavar. Law comes in with the knockoff, doing some good damage to the Jellicent there. The Will-O-Wisp lands, but the Blumberry is going to cure, and then the knockoff is going to finish off Jellicent, so thankfully we didn't have to worry too much about that particular menace, as we've had to in the past. Blanchard comes in, then at this point Fumsy's going to take a Thunderbolt, get paralyzed, so not a great day for Fumsy, or not a great battle for him at least. Hard coming into a special attack and then getting a status effect. That's rough. So Fumsy comes in, takes a hard Shadow Ball, and then is going to be paralyzed. I was going for the Pain Split on that turn. That would have been really nice to get all that health back from that full health Driflim. But unfortunately we got para-haxed and we weren't able to get the Pain Split off, and so Fumsy goes down instead, and the Blanchard remains at pure health, or at top health. Depth Charge comes in at that point. We're going to throw up the Toxic then on Dixon here, and we're going to be taking some hard damage from it as well. Starting to rack up a little bit of toxic damage, so they switch out. Ramses comes in, is going to take a Scald. No burn this time for us, and then Depth Charge is going to go down to the toxic damage. Which point Lol comes in with the knockoff. Knockoff's going to do pretty good work. We got kind of lucky this week. I didn't change the team at all, but we happened to have some good dark moves on us, because we had a lot of people go ghost type this week, and especially Scad had a mono type ghost team. Lol takes the time to set up the Dragon Dance there, survives the Earthquake, and then is able to come back and finish off with the knockoff there, taking down Scad. So thank you so much, Scad, for joining us this week. Grunt Scad goes down to the might of Tortimer, but that is not always the case. So always nice when we can show well against some of you guys, and I appreciate the continued support. So here we go, and let's jump into the last two battles. Here we go. Alrighty guys, welcome back. Let's swap this. There we go, welcome back. And we're up against Yesh here today. And Yesh leads off with, or well, they led off with, I believe, the something else. And then they switched in expecting the fake out, but I countered that by using the knockoff, because I usually expect that people will switch ghosts in just to be safe. Boots is going to take some hard damage from the pursuit, but then Fumsy's going to come in and start doing a little bit of damage to the Atacama. I don't know what that is, but Deer comes in, and we're gonna throw up the. Well, I was expecting them to expect the Leaf Storm and to switch into, I don't know, something else, and they did not. They stayed in, and so my plan was foiled. So good for them. They Gobi. That's what Gobi's what I name my my camera ups. Gobi. After the camel in Banjo-Kazooie. Anyway, so Gobi's going to come and get burned, throws out the Fire Blast, but it misses. Fumsy's able to use the Pain Split to get a little bit of health back there, which works out pretty nicely for us. Gobi going to take burn damage, throw up the Draco Meteor, lower the special attack even more. Fumsy hangs on, throws up the Sludge Bomb, gets Gobi so close, and then the burn's going to take it down. So that works out pretty nicely. Houndoom comes in with the Dark Pulse, though, finishes off Fumsy. So Fumsy goes on down. Depth Charge at this point is going to force out the Houndoom. The Atacama is going to come in because he's already poisoned, so they expect that, or at the very least they know that Water Move's not going to do quite as much to it. So we get the Defog up there to get rid of the rocks, and that's going to be nice for us here in the battle. Yesh is then going to switch out the Seismitoad, bring in Gibson, the Rhyperior, and Rhyperior is going to go ahead and set up the Rock Polish, which is a little frightening. We threw up the Air Slash. I was expecting maybe a switch there after the first turn. I think that's what I was thinking, that they would switch out. They did not, and they managed to finish off depth charge there. Deer comes in with the Leaf Storm, though, finishes off Rhyperior without any trouble at all. We're Choice Scarps, so we're going to switch out from the Fire type. Fire type's going to go ahead and take down Boots, though, which is a little bit rough for us, but Lol comes in. Lol has much the same capacity as Boots in some instances, so we do have a little bit of redundancy there. We can. Now, are all of your Pokemon Yeesh named after deserts? You got the Mojave, the Gobi. I got to imagine that some of these guys are also named after deserts. Lol sets up the Dragon Dance, but gets whirlwinded out by Mojave. Blackvar is going to set up the Hone Claws, but as well as, or the same as Lol is going to get whirlwinded out there. Deer comes in at this point, and we are faster, so we're going to go for the Thunderbolt, which does good damage to Mojave and paralyzes. And we get some Parahacks going in our favor there, so that works out nicely. The Thunderbolt's going to be enough to finish off Mojave there. A low health paralyzed Golbat's not worth switching out. So Blackavar comes in. The Sucker Punch does nothing, obviously. We set up the Hone Claws there. Like I said before, I'm excited for some of these later tiers. I think the next tier, I think Nidoking is UU, so it'll be exciting to have Nidoking available to us, because Blackavar is a little bit of a weakling. Nobody suggests you use Nidorino for any tier. There's not even any sets for Nidorino anywhere. He's just running the same set as Nidoran ran in Little Cup. So, Lol comes in, and it's going to take a couple flamethrowers and go down. At this point, Deer comes in. I think what happened here, what happened here was I accidentally switched in Deer on Houndoom when Houndoom came out. And Blackavar died. I accidentally switched in Deer instead of Lol, so then I ended up having to switch Lol into an attack, knowing that I would want Deer to... if I had switched Lol in originally, I think I probably could have finished off this battle, but the misclicks happen. I gotta pay closer attention. Accidentally sent in... Their little icons look kind of similar, so I clicked the wrong one. But a great battle from Yesh. Thank you so much for your battle and your participation this week. I think this is potentially the first time you've participated in this series, although I recognize your name. You've been around before, so I think maybe you participated in the last subscriber challenge special series we did. But anyway, thank you so much, Yesh, for your participation this week. We've got one more battle for you guys, so let's jump to it real quick, and then we'll figure out what we're doing next week. Here we go. Alrighty, guys, last battle of the week. Let's switch this out. We go up against Admin ECAT, and ECAT came at us with a very interesting little team. I think this team was built off of his... he's currently running a Rocket Lock on his channel, and I think he said he was building this team around his team there. And I'm not quite caught up on that series. I think I'm a couple episodes behind, so some of these were still surprises to me, so that works in his favor. But yeah, so I think he built this team after his Rocket Lock team. But he's got some good Psychic types and stuff in there. He's had some trouble with Fumsy in the past, so came prepared for Fumsy at least this week. And Slowking comes in. The knockoff doing great damage, though. Yeah, so a lot of you guys who, for the evil type week, went Ghost or Psychic or something like that, Boots and Lol were definitely issues a bit for some of you guys this week. Deer comes in with the Volt Switch, switches in on the Giraffe Rig, gets out. Lol takes a return with no trouble, and finishes off the Giraffe Rig with a knockoff there, getting the Moxie boost, which works out pretty nicely for us. And then Togetic comes in. Depth Charge switches into what is obviously going to be a Dazzling Gleam there, and so we throw up the Toxic on the little fairy type. Togetic's so cute! I wish... I know, well, no, I don't think status effects do more damage based on the type that you are. I don't, for any of the statuses. I know Stealth Rocks does, but yeah, obviously. I was like, I really wish that Toxic would do more damage because it's fairy type, but that could get real annoying. We throw up the Thunderbolt there with Deer and almost kill the Togetic. We avoid the Sweet Kiss, and then Toxic is going to take it down. Xatu then comes in at that point. We throw up the Thunderbolt, doing some real good damage there. They go for Fly. Thunderbolt misses on the next turn because of the Fly, and they land that, which does very little. It's neutral damage because of the grass or the electric typing as well, and so we are able to survive at no trouble. And then Deer is able to finish off the rest of the team. So yeah. Anyway, that was Admin ECAT, and that is all of you guys. Thank you guys so much for participating this week. All of you guys who come back week in and week out really are awesome. I love battling you guys every week. It's a lot of fun to get to battle you guys, the subs, and kind of see how you guys evolve week in, week out to combat me, and how I can evolve week in and week out to combat you guys. it's a lot of fun to have that kind of recurring sort of appointments there. So this episode's gone pretty long because a lot of you guys participated this week. So let's quickly jump into the spreadsheet and see what we're doing next week. Here we go. Alrighty guys, here we go. We're going to quick randomize what we're working on next week. So for next week's encounters, we need to generate 1 through 6. So let's go ahead and do that now. 1 through 6 generate, and we get a 5, which is gym. We got another gym battle coming up. How many weeks? I feel like we just did a gym battle, but hey, whichever, the random RNG gods have spoken. So, alright, so we have a gym battle. Let's go ahead and do that. So we've got a gym battle. It is an RU battle, so we'll do that. We can unhighlight this since we actually have... Oh, no, that's not what I want to do. All borders, no fill. Sorry. Okay, so just don't want to confuse you guys. Okay, so we have a gym battle coming up in the RU tier. So this will wrap out our time in the RU tier. I think we've only been here for a couple of weeks maybe, but hey, whichever. So we've got the RU tier. Now we need to generate 1 through 18. 1 through 18. Generate, and we get 11, which is Psychic type. Okay, so we just had the bug type gym, now we've got the psychic type gym. Surprising those two would be sitting next to each other, but that's alright. So there we go, guys. This week, you guys need to build a psychic type RU tier gym team. And as always, you guys are allowed, your aces and things like that. They don't necessarily have to be it doesn't necessarily have to be a pure mono type team. It's your gyms, you guys have some discretion, but it needs to be a psychic type gym team. Don't come at me with, a team of fire types. I'd be like, well, you said we didn't have to be mono. It's going to have to be a psychic type gym if you want to have one, like Koga had, sand slashers and stuff in his gym. So psychic type is the theme. If you guys want to take a few little liberties there, I won't begrudge you that. Especially this week, we saw a lot of ghost and psychic type people going down to a lot of the dark type teams. I probably will shake up my team just a little bit since we're wrapping up RU here. Might want to try some things out. But, you guys have seen my team. You guys know what to expect. You guys have battled me a lot. You guys know what to expect. So I look forward to you guys putting together your psychic type gyms. This time, this will be gym number 4. So we're almost halfway through the gym circuit here. So that'll be exciting. But yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. Put together your teams. I'll see you guys. All the information for how to get a hold of me is in the description down below. A lot of fun to have a couple of you guys jump in here this week, especially like Yesh, who a long-time viewer and first time actually jumping into Showdown. If you guys are interested in joining in on this series and battling during the week, all the information is in the description down below. Showdown is a free battle simulator. Link down below. Don't have to download anything. You just open up the website and you can do it. So a lot of fun. Hope to see some new faces this week as well, but love going up against all you guys who have been battling for several weeks. So looking forward to seeing you guys as well. But yeah, put together your RU psychic type gym teams, and I will see you guys all out there. As always, I've been Tortimer the Great, and you guys have been great. Make sure those likes, comments, subscriptions for me, guys, and I will see you all back here next time. Have a good one.